So I was just doing a DoorDash, right? I was just doing a DoorDash just now, and when I got to McDonald's, their system wasn't putting in the orders automatically for them. So earlier that day, I was going up to the cash register and telling them the orders manually. Normally they have a system that automatically puts it in, but their system was down. So I was going up to the register and I was having them put the orders in manually, and they were putting them in, no issue at all, handing me the order. I would go about my order, get the delivery done, get paid for it, and everything was going smooth. And I was really grateful for that worker that was helping me put the orders in manually. All of a sudden, I show up, and it's getting later in the afternoon. I've been dashing all day now. It's getting later in the afternoon, and there's a different worker there. Again, their DoorDash system is still down, but you can still put the order in manually. This new worker just bullshits me, like, oh, we can't do that. It's too busy. It's lunch rush. There's too many people here. It's like, you do realize that I took time out of my day to drive to your restaurant to do this order. You do realize that there's a real paying customer that already paid you guys for this order. Just because your automated system's down and you have to type in a few things randomly at the cash register, someone paid for that fucking order. I drove to go deliver that order. Someone drove their car. I risked my life. I could have gotten a hit on the way there. You can't control traffic and how other people are driving. Even if I drove perfectly, I'm putting my life at risk to take time out of my day. Someone paid for that order. And that's the problem, is when you're doing your job day to day, you got to do your job right. Because here's the problem. It doesn't matter what job you do. You could be doing DoorDash like I do. You could be doing Instacart. You're going to meet people day to day throughout your job, and you never know who you're going to run into. If you make the wrong impression on someone, that sticks. I'm going to remember that lady, oh, we don't have time. It's the lunch rush. That order was paid for just like every other order. Why don't you have time for that specific order? It was fucked up what they did to me. And they didn't have to do that. They could have just typed it in and just tried to remember as best as they could, just like they do with everyone else's order. You know, DoorDash is a real customer, just like every other customer. A lot of people that work at restaurants, a lot of these restaurant workers, they have an attitude because they don't like their job or whatever it is. Be grateful for your job no matter what it is that you work. Don't let this social media shit fool you. A lot of these influencers are coming from their parents' money and they're faking it. So just because you work a job that's not the best job according to society, you still got to show up and do that job with pride. You still got to be grateful for that job because they're still paying you nonetheless. You still got to show up and do your due diligence, because I'm going to remember now how that one lady treated me later in the day who refused to do the order. I could have kept arguing with her, but I just went home. I was done with it. I was done with that shit. I should have kept arguing with her. I should have got them to make the order because that was fucked up. I shouldn't have let them do what they just did. But I just went home. I just couldn't deal with it. But now I'll remember the lady earlier today made a good impression. The lady later today made a bad impression. And I'm going to remember that. That sticks with me. So remember, when you're out working, doing your job, whatever it is, you're meeting people every day. You're making an impression on people every day. Be conscious of that. Be aware of that. And if you're a restaurant worker, understand that a dasher, a real customer paid for that order, and that order, they paid more for that order than they would have if they just went in the restaurant and bought it. So you got to treat that order with respect, just as much respect, if not more, than any other paying customer that walks in. There's a problem with a lot of these restaurants where they're not giving the dasher any real respect. You're treated as like a nuisance. Like, oh, I got to deal with all these real customers first. Wait a minute. It's like DoorDashers, we're timed per delivery. Our account can get banned if we don't deliver things on time. And a real customer paid for that order, plus a tip, plus the markups on the app. So treat it with some respect. Okay? Rant over. I'm going to end this video here because I want to get back to more positive content. But I felt like this video had to be made because, like I said, the lady earlier today was putting in all the orders like it was no issue at all because their system was down. Then as soon as I see a new worker, they just refuse all of a sudden. I remember that shit. Don't be conscious that when you're going to your job in public, everyone you run into, they remember your face and how you treat them when you walk into that restaurant or whatever it is. So take pride in your job no matter what it is. It doesn't matter what job you're working. If you're working any job, period, be grateful for it because that's money coming in. Don't let these influencers shame you. Like, oh, you're not an online coach like me. Half of them are just living off their parents' inheritances. You really think they're making that much money on Instagram with 100,000 followers? Most of them aren't. If you're working a real job like fast food or whatever, that's a real job that you got to take seriously because your community is depending on you to feed them. Even if it's unhealthy bullshit food, I don't agree with that. I think most restaurants should serve better food, but that's another topic. You have an important role, and you got to treat that role with respect. You're serving your community. I'm disappointed today in what happened. Earlier today, they did an amazing job. Then right when late afternoon hit, they just refused to do it. I wish I would have gotten it on camera. Fucking craziness. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Until next one, I'm out. Love and peace.